Hello YouTube, today we're talking triceps, and for me, my triceps are a part of my body that I really was lazy on for years and years and years. I barely trained them for the first 6 years of my lifting journey, and nowadays I'm paying the price for that because I'm having to play catch up. Luckily for me, having a bicep tricep imbalance where the bicep is really dominant isn't really conducive to any type of injuries. That being said, it still is a weakness that could lead to potential tendon damage in the elbows, and it also doesn't look right. It's not balanced. Even though I'm always going to have bigger biceps than triceps, I still need to get some size in there, especially because I want bigger arms and the triceps make up for most of the arms. So if you're like me, I'm going to share some of the tips, the hacks that I've been using to grow my triceps. So for me, for example, just doing presses was never enough for my triceps. I think a lot of people can relate to that. So I've had to modify the strength curve on some of my presses. For example, I like to do my bench press strength work with a slingshot simply because I don't really care if I lose some chest development. I have plenty of that. And I want the lockout to be slightly harder. I want to be able to move more weight. And because I have a damaged shoulder, it also works in my favor because it prevents injuries. I also do a ton of close grip bench because it also puts more emphasis on the triceps. That being said, just compound movements is not enough for me. I can do heavy overhead press, heavy bench press with a lot of volume. It doesn't develop the lateral and medial heads of my triceps as much as I would want to. So what I do is I have several exercises that I use to target the triceps, and I use them in different volume and intensity ranges with different protocols. Right off the bat, I do nucleus overload for the triceps. I do it every 2 days. So on days where I'm not using my triceps to press, I will be doing nucleus overloads. And the way I do it is either I will use a band or a spry to do triceps extensions for very high reps, 30 to 40 for several sets, usually 4 to 5 sets. I will do it with any angles I can, and I really focus on the lateral and medial heads of the triceps because for me, these are the ones that are the most lacking. The long head is more developed. I also, if I'm lacking in the long head department, but that's usually not the case, can do French presses with light weight for the same amount of reps. But it's not something I've been focusing on right now. I really have been doing a ton of extensions because I really feel them in the lateral parts of the triceps. And this is where I want to create a connection with because this is where I want the size to go. So that's something I really encourage people to do. If you have a cable machine because you're in a gym, you can do that with the cable machine as well. Bands are a little bit more forgiving on the tendons, and because you're going to do it with such frequency, it might be beneficial to stick with the band. As far as what I do for direct isolation work for the triceps, long head of the tricep movements are key because the long head is the meaty part of the tricep that hangs underneath the arm, and you want it to be as developed as possible. So what I do is I do skull crushers. I do them the proper way, meaning I don't finish the movement with my arms perpendicular with the ceiling. I let my shoulders flex backwards, and that way I also engage the lats, and I really pull and push with the long heads. If you want to see what I mean, you can go in the Road to Bigger Arms playlist and you can see the way I do skull crushers. It's not technically a skull crusher anymore because the bar doesn't come near your forehead anymore. But for me, this is the superior way to do skull crushers for triceps development. For direct lateral and medial head of the tricep work, besides what I explained with the bands, I really don't do much because most of what I do for it comes from the presses. Sadly, I've found that these parts of the triceps for me tire out super quick, meaning that I'm lucky enough that I can just do my strength work with the compound movements and the presses to work them, but it doesn't mean that I get particularly good results doing just that, which is why I also do nucleus overload to really throw in some low repetitions in there. But this is how I'm planning to do that. I'm still going to focus on the strength work and the compounds to bring it up. But I also have a little trick or thing that I really like doing, which is dips. But I focus the dips on the triceps. And the way I do it is I do them with a slingshot. I do half reps so I don't go all the way down. And I focus on keeping the torso as vertical as possible. And when the triceps are starting to tire, I let my body lean forward so I engage more chest, shoulders, and the slingshot starts to kick in, which gives me more and more reps. I'm doing usually 4 sets of 30 reps. I'm slowly moving up and up and up until I can do 50 reps, and then I might change the protocol. But for now, when it comes to presses, this is what I guess I get my extra volume on, because I cannot rely only on the heavy weight stuff, because a lot of the time I lose the connection with the triceps when I do that, because I'm just desperate to press the weight because it's heavy, right? It's in the 8 to 10 rep range, so I need something in the higher rep ranges that I don't care if I progress on or not, or the speed of progression, and that is going to let me connect with that part of the arm. If you have a part of your body that is lacking, this is the principle of this Weak Point Wednesday series. You need to create a connection and you need to consciously work on it. You cannot expect for it to blow up if you keep doing the same thing you've ever done. For me, I neglected that body part. This is my punishment. Now I need to catch up. But when you catch up, understand also that you will see good gains, but you will not have the gains that the other dominant body parts have, because it would make no sense. If you neglected the body part for 4 years, understand that you're never going to catch up on the gains in 1 year. You will get some newbie gains because the area is not really used to getting worked, but it's not going to be so fast that it suddenly catches up. A dominant body part is going to stay dominant for as long as you lift, unless you make a conscious effort to stop working it. And for me, I would never stop working my biceps. So this is going to be that for the tricep video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you have your own ways to work the triceps, please also let people know in the comments. And if, again, you need ideas for movements for the triceps, go in the Road to Bigger Arms playlist. Every single movement I do for my arms, I put in there. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.